It's Wellness Wednesdays with Dr. Nancy, providing helpful tips on how to live your best life now.
Well, hello, everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Today, I hope everyone's been having a wonderful week and have plans for the upcoming weekend as well. And Wellness Wednesdays is bringing on individual guests to talk about helpful tips on how to live your best life now. And for all you live streamers, you can tune in every Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time. Depending on the time of year, we're live streaming here in Arizona. We're on different time zones with everybody else because we don't change time. But if in the event that you are not able to stream, tune in live, these episodes are all available if you text my name, DRNANCY. So text 26786 like it's a telephone number. Pull out your text box on your phone and type in 26786 and then, bless you, and then you put in my name, Dr. Nancy, and you will see a whole host of promotions and also Wellness Wednesdays are there, and you can binge watch them from start to finish. There are several episodes out there now. We've had several wonderful guests on, and, it's really about pouring into others, showing up and, just allowing yourself to be utilized. And the purpose of what it is that I'm doing as we're streaming here on NGC, Nancy Gaines Cares Media Broadcasting Network, my office here, Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine. It's really all about impacting and empowering and informing and equipping both men and women alike with helpful tips on how to live their best life now. There is no need to wait. The excuse is within you, and you just have to start. I understand that, many want to have plan A to plan B, and it's really great to have goals and to plan, but sometimes we procrastinate. And I'm here to tell you, procrastination no longer. Don't procrastinate. Do what's on your heart now. Our guest today is Beverly Brown. She is the CEO and founder of Dreamsteerer Academe, and she's been my friend for a long while, and I'm so grateful to have her on the show to come on and tell everyone about what she does, the difference that she makes in both men and women's lives, not just locally, not just nationally, but internationally. Beverly, it's so wonderful to have you on the show.
It's so great to be here, Dr. Nancy. I miss seeing you personally. It's like the post-COVID thing that happened. We don't see each other as much, but it's always good to be in your presence. You're such a great leader and doing so many valuable and wonderful things. And I'm just so proud of you being the dreamer and visionary that you are. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, Beverly, it takes role models. It takes mentors.
Yes.
It takes you believing in yourself too.
Absolutely. That's the beginning of it.
Yes, let's speak on that, Beverly.
Well, good. Well, I am Beverly Brown, like she said, and my name and my term is the Dreamsteerer. And everybody's like, well, what's the Dreamsteerer? Well, I just coined the phrase from what God gave me, and I steer people towards their God-given goals, dreams, and vision. And it's sort of like consulting, sort of like, being a coach. But I think more on a spiritual level, because what I like to do is steer you towards what God has a plan for you. There's no cookie cutter way, and everybody doesn't do everything the same way. So I don't have 10 steps that you have to do. I listen to you and I find out what it is that you need for yourself in order to steer you. And I'm listening to God in the same process as well, asking him what is it that he wants me to relay to that person as a dream steerer. I started being a dream steerer. Oh my God, it's been many, many years. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. God gave me the gift of being the dream steerer back then. So that was since 2005. I can't even remember all the years now it's been. But I started out just talking to people about their businesses. And then all of a sudden, I just Spirit would just tell me to say, tell them this, tell them that, tell them this, and tell them that. So in the process, I coined myself as the dream steerer because I was listening to a book that's called The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. And it's like, well, I can't use his name. I'll use my own. So since that time and many years ago, so I think it's been over going up to about 20 years now, that I've been the Dream Steerer, but I also started a Dreamsteerer Academe because I wanted to teach people in a group setting as well so that I can get feedback from them. Because believe it or not, you heal even better when you hear other people's stories. So in the academy, it's a 9-week course that I started in 2011. After I left New Orleans, I ended up going to Cleveland, Ohio, of all places. Trust me, that was a God thing. Went kicking and screaming, and that's where I birthed being the Dreamsteerer and starting the Dreamsteerer Academe. Started in a room with 12 people. I said, come and let's see what this class, everybody's like, what is this? And they came, and about 12 people came. And of course, some people just kind of dropped off by the wayside because it wasn't for them. But I ended up graduating 3 people for the first time. And it was just amazing. And they saw the vision. They came to the classes. They were intrigued, and they left with a sense of accomplishment, knowing that they knew God had a purpose for them. And that is the purpose of Dreamsteerer Academe. It helps you to uncover who you are, and uncovering who you are is dealing with your past. It helps you to discover who you presently are and how you got to the place of where you are at that particular time. And then it also helps you to develop who it is that God wants you to be in the future. And a lot, you said those strong words, Dr. Nancy, is like, we need to do what we need to do today. We cannot control anything from yesterday except to try to correct anything or improve on it. You definitely can't control what's going to happen tomorrow, but you can add the vision to what it is that you want to do. But presently, what do you need to do? What do you need to do today to affect someone else's life? Because it's just not about you. It's about who you can affect. Who are you contributing to with the gift that God has given you? Because we know, and like you, Dr. Nancy, the gift of you being the doctor, and look at what you've done. You've advanced. You've changed it from just being a medical doctor. You used to work in the emergency room, but you had a better sense of people's health. And God gave you the vision of like, no, I need you to help them internally and get themselves well before they have to go to a doctor. So, we go through life stages. And like I said, the past helps to get you to where your present is. So everything that you've done was never a mistake, no matter how bad it was, no matter what you encountered, no matter how hard it was, because I've heard so many hard stories. All of that was to get you to your present place. Because if you're not experiencing it, you can't really teach it. And you can't really pass it on to someone else. So he happens to have you go through some experiences to say, hey, you need to be able to pass this information on to someone else. So with Dreamsteerer Academe, it's a 9-week course. Once a week on Thursdays, I've been having it for the last 8 years. And I'm so proud to say I've graduated over 60 people over the last 6 years that have just, it's amazing. They walk into class like, what is this? I don't know why I'm here. I think the spirit you leave sends half of them there because they have no clue what it is they're going to get. And then when I see them leave and they graduate and they make their speech and I see a whole different side of them, that's what blesses my heart and lets me know that I'm doing what God has asked me to do.
Well, Beverly, that was really amazing. And we align so well. And I often tell individuals that, you have to find your tribe and you have to connect with those people that you feel like you've known a lifetime. And you've spoken on so many different tips and things that how I live my life and what I do in my practice and my nonprofit organizations, and even with media as well. You said a few things. It's your ministry, Beverly. It's my ministry as well. I feel like everyone that's come into my life has been God-led as well. You have to lead with God first. You got to learn to forgive yourself as well. And you're absolutely right. When you're in front of someone, you're present, you're listening, and together you can pull out and bring together a specific protocol for them that gives them a sense of, okay, wow, I never thought of it that way. So you're a guide, you're a consultant, it's all the above, but in the midst of it is God, right?
Exactly. And he
And
has to be in the midst of it in order to truly find out your purpose. And a lot of people that say, well, Beverly, people like to leave the word God out. And like I said, we all have different gods that we all believe in, but I always preface them. I'm with God. I love Jesus. This is who I am. Whatever your spirit finds for you, that's great for you, but that's what I lead from. And I'm not going to hush it and say that, you might lose customers or you might lose people. Well, I just kind of say, well, maybe they're not mine because I want God to send me who he wants me to teach.
that's
And
absolutely
those are the ones that I'm looking for. You have a God spirit. You at least know God is there. He's present in your life. And you are seeking what he needs from you to do that. And those are the people that, end up coming to Dreamsteerer Academy. They're questioning why they're there, but I know the spirit is moving them because that's my prayer. It's like, okay, Lord, who's going to come to my class? It's one person. I'm going to show them and teach them like it's 100 people in the class. But that's my prayer, Father. Lead those to my class that you want me to steer in the direction that you have set forth for them.
Absolutely. And it's like representation as well. We have to lead with love and we have to be
Mhm.
godlike. We have to really open up our hearts and really pour into people. Now, Beverly, there's a lot of people that really don't know what their purpose is and they
Mhm.
dream, but they don't really know how to, pull it out of them, right? And to, you've been around individuals and you see the potential in someone and they don't see it themselves, right?
Yeah,
It is through prayer and guidance that, those individuals that are supposed to be connected to you and interface with you, it will happen. It will.
absolutely. And you said the magic word is like, it's like I'm looking at this person and I'm like, God has shown me what's the potential inside of them, and I see it. And it gets to the point that they're understanding why am I always trying to I don't want to say rush or get into the, because I'll usually tell them, let's pick a date. When are you ready to lunch? When are you ready to do that? And they're like, hold up, hold up, hold up. And I had to start telling myself, okay, Beverly, you see what's going on in their potential, but they're just not ready to step that fast into it. And there is a process that you have to go through. And it's amazing because I become so passionate about their dream. It's even more passion than they're having at some point, because I see the potential. But God always tell me, says, Beverly, you just have to steer them and let them go in a direction. We can't, it's just like, you're taking your child to school for the first day and you're like, oh God, you want to go to school with them and you're afraid to leave them. It's like, no, you have taught them what they need to know at home. You've taught them the basics, and now you need to let them go and just use what you've taught them. And that's the part that it does get given. It's like me trying to let go of a baby. Like, oh, I want to keep them. I want to help them, but I have to just steer them in the direction that God has purpose for them. Because
Absolutely.
bottom line, when we get to the point we really want to do things for the person, and that's not how it should be. God says, turn them over to me. I brought you here to show them the vision or give them the inclination of what it is I would have them to do. But the rest, they have to fight through themselves.
Right.
So the
The
whole purpose
seed.
is to get them prepared to do that.
That's right. The seed has been planted, and now
Mhm,
it's up to them to kind of water it and nourish it through the knowledge and the, guidance that they are
mhm,
asking for. And the transformation is wonderful. But, you touched on another thing as well. I mean, there's so many different things that have to take place in your life to show up in certain moments that you people have that aha moment. Miracles happen every day. And you said something else. You wouldn't change a thing. Like the journey is your journey. And without the experience, you won't grow. You don't get to certain levels. You don't get to experience certain things. And then, you wouldn't be really prepared for people like you or me when our paths cross as well. So enjoy the journey, embrace it,
mhm,
and just, keep the faith that uh, all is well. Praise him in the midst of it all.
mhm.
Keep the faith. keep your head up, and learn to forgive yourself and others. And if God gives you another opportunity to live to see another day, just be better than you were the day before.
Absolutely. And the powerful thing, which is also the hardest thing, is forgiving others. Because in your process of becoming who you are, there's going to be hurt and there's going to be pain. And of course, I'm never condemning all of the abuses that I've heard just from some of the people in my classes that people are going through every day because somebody has gone through something. There is not a person on this earth that has had a smooth life. We all have a story and we've all experienced something, but the part is trying to forgive what that person may have done, because guess what, that person had to teach you a lesson in order for you to carry on and to get, like I said, you start getting armor. You have to start getting, prepared for the next level, because each time you go through something and you experience something, it's just God just saying, okay, great, please pass this test. If you pass this test, then boom, I can feed you something else. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's hard sometimes. Yes, it's inexplicable for one thing. You can't even explain why it happens. But usually it's because God is like, okay, I need you to go through this. And a lot of people might misconstrue saying, God does things. It's not that. I teach on a level of what God says. He's going to allow the enemy to do what he does because the enemy has to test you so you can pass the test. Okay? Because if you're learning what God, you have a spirit of God and you're learning what you need to go, then he's going to test you through it.
That's
There's no other way. It's the same thing when you're going to school. You learn, but don't you have to be tested? Don't
that.
you have to take everything that you learned and put it aside? And there you are with just that sheet of paper and you're sweating and it's like, oh my God, I don't know the answer. And then an answer will come to you. Well, it's the test part.
That's
Okay,
right.
learn, but you have to be tested in the process and nobody wants it. It's
Oh my gosh.
terrible at times and it's hurtful and painful, but it is something that you have to experience in life and there's no way around it.
That's it. Danya says, armored and prepared. Thank you for that comment. We definitely have to be prepared for the fight because it's,
Yeah,
anything that's necessary and critical to your success is not easy to get to, right? So,
absolutely.
Beverly, some congratulations are in order too. You just earned a recent award and a write up in an international article as well. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, that's so amazing because people always say you're a behind the scenes person. It's not that I'm behind the scenes person. The forefront is where I know God keeps trying to put me more in front of. And it's amazing if somebody reached out for me from Canada to say that they want to present me or at least put me in the running for an award. And then I actually win the award and go and get the presentation for Consultant of the Year. And I had to go to Alberta, Canada. Didn't know I was even winning at that point, but the opportunity
That's
that someone would recognize me to do that. I mean, you don't pass up that lifetime trip. And more recently, Hornser Magazine, which is from the UK, I think they're from all over, they're internationally known, reached out and said they're seeing they're doing, did you want to be a part of the Queen's 2023 magazine? And I'm like, oh, yeah, of course I do. And more recently, it's awards that are coming from places and people that that it's just like I'm not fathoming myself being in that type of limelight. But when God wants to get the message out to people, he will put you in front even when you don't even want to be at the same time. So I thank everybody for recognizing that. It is always nice to be acknowledged. It's just something, because that's why I try to acknowledge people as much as I possibly can, because you people need to know this is who you are. This is what God has professed for you to do. And the more people see it, the more they'll gravitate towards it, and even give them the initiative to say, you know what, if she did it, then I can do this too. What's stopping me? So I also do that with one-on-one consultations. Like I said, as a Dreamster, I'm also a consultant that I do one-on-one consultations and group consultations as well. Because a lot of times people, I've actually had someone that I had to consult with for 3 years before I could get her to go on to what God had professed her to be, because she had 3 years of what I call muck, family muck, past loves muck, things that had happened in her life that were so embedded in her, she couldn't move forward. And once we finished the consultation, I mean, she wrote a play, she created the play, she did all sorts of things that, she already had that inside of her, but it was stagnant and it just was sitting there. So that's another thing that I do as far as one-on-one consultations as well, to help a person personally that may have more issues than just going through a 9-week course for Dreamster Academy.
And
So
so
all I
Beverly,
know is when I meet people, I just want to see what God has placed in my heart to help them bring out.
and you're certainly definitely rememberable and impactful in person as well. And I believe that, this media, this platform, social media has this strong sense of false identity and, portraying people to be someone that they're not. And so with this platform, the live streaming, the media broadcasting network, bringing on individuals that are really impacting the community in a positive way, and that you can kind of feel them, you can see them, you can, see the
Their heart.
sincerity. Yes,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
sincerity. Because my goal is to have positive content on the network that goes viral, that's not
Mhm.
local, but national and international as well. And so kudos to you, Beverly, because that's confirmation that you are walking in your purpose and you're doing exactly what it is that you're called to do.
Absolutely. And I thank you for this platform, Nancy. It was just amazing when we first met. It's like, oh, she's a doctor and she's doing this. I'm like, but no, she's going into a TV program and she's doing this and she's getting the word out in a different format, because that is your gift, to take that, the doctor or the medicinal side, and impact it on a social level in order to bring people more aware of who they are. And the good part about, like you said, bringing it on to me, it's not about medicine. Your soul and your heart and what God has professed you to do is also part of your healing.
That's
Because
right.
if you don't find out what it is that God has placed in your heart to do, and if you allow the pain of the past to fester and become a part of it, then guess what? Then they get turned over to you, because it turns into illness and sickness in your body.
That's
So if
right.
you don't heal that mental part of it and what's inside of you, then it will come out in a different form, and usually it is in the form of a physical part of your body. So it's good on both aspects, that you're taking care of both aspects. I'm trying to help them mentally to get themselves ready so that they'll avoid it. But the main thing is to uncover anything and everything that's keeping you from moving forward, because if it doesn't, you can't move on in your life, and trust me, it will show up in your health as well.
That's
So
so
it's the
true.
proper things to do.
Beverly, we're treating the whole person and not just the
Yes.
particular specific thing that they think is the issue or concern that they have. It's
Hmm.
so multifactorial, and that's what my ministry is and yours is, to really uncover all of that. And then you may not be able to speak on the medical side, but you can say that's a problem and I know someone, or maybe go get that addressed. But you're looking at the person holistically, because
Hmm.
it's total body healing. And that's the wonderful thing that I love about your ministry and the work that you're doing with many people across the nation. Can you tell the viewers, listeners, how they can connect with you?
Absolutely. My website is www.creativeconsultingdreams.com. And you can find all the information there as far as the Dreamster Academy is concerned. I will probably be having next year's the first quarter for the academy itself, but I am open to one-on-one consultations at all times to set up an interview with that, usually like on Facebook Messenger or visual. And I'm also opening up more so that people will just have a group consultation. Sometimes they just want to ask questions. So Creative Consulting Dreams is that. Definitely my Facebook page, which is Beverly Brown, the Dreamsteerer. And on Instagram and TikTok, it's B Brown One Vision, that you can connect with me for that. So
Great.
I'm readily available at all times to hear from people. I love hearing from them. And at the end, Nancy, we just spoke about health and everything else, and I said that I would only speak up on it if the Spirit led me to do so. Previously, I have had cancer twice, 2011 and 2013, but it has managed to appear again just recently. And I just want to let everybody know that maybe seeing this, that thank God, because of medicine and everything else, and through my follow up mammograms on an annual basis, that they were able to detect it at a very, very low rate, which is stage 1. And
Amen.
having stage 1 cancer it's, I don't want to say not having it at all, but if you have to have a stage, 0 to 1 would be the best stages so that you can't catch it. So I just recently encountered that, and I am setting up surgery to have a mastectomy for that. And then that determines whether or not when I'll be doing my next Dreamsteerer Academe class as far as that service is concerned. So just an added note to that, to please stress with people, mammograms, they think it's fun. Oh, it hurts, whatever. You need it. And if you're not getting it annually, there's a chance that, the chances of the cancer that you have, because trust me, I want to add, I had no symptoms. I've been going for the last 10 years, cancer free. I did not do chemo. I did not do radiation, because this stage that I caught before, it was not necessary. And that's a choice that I made for me. So now that it's back, I had no symptoms. I felt nothing. I thought I was going for my annual mammogram that I've been doing for 10 years. That's coming up clear. And boom, they say they see a small something. It was so small till I have to have a special biopsy to do it. And you find out that it was a small cancer that was started. So that's to emphasize to people, get the mammograms, get them annually. And like I said, that was the last thing I expected. I had no symptom, nothing. I felt not lump, not anything. And there it was.
Well, God is so good. And yeah, maintenance matters is a current hashtag that I use. And maintenance does matter. And yes, you're absolutely right, Beverly. Get your screening test done, mammography, chest CT if it's indicated, colonoscopy, GYN exams, your prostate checked. Those are all like certain types of age-related milestone diagnostic imaging screening test to check, and pick up on anything that might be occurring, because it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're doing anything different. It could be environment. And a lot of these things, Beverly, you don't have to have symptoms right away. And in fact, when you do, it's oftentimes later stages. So that's the blessing in disguise. And the message here is to stay on top of your screening exams, and so that you can be well informed and equipped to make necessary, adjustments
and adjustments.
Regimens.
Right.
You're absolutely right. So, and then I would be remiss to say that I do have here at Dr. Nancy's Integrative Medicine, I offer a test that won in the New York Times Magazine this past November of 2022, one of the most innovative tests in its blood work. It's called Gallery, and it picks up over 50 cancers, early stages. So it looks at artificial intelligence and genomic testing, the shedding of a cancer cell, and it can tell you whether you have skin cancer, head, neck cancer, bone cancer, breast cancer, colon cancer. And so once a year, I say, with your, health screening exam with your doctor, me or otherwise, get this blood work done. And you can tell a lot about yourself once a year as well, because some people aren't old enough to get mammogram. It's not indicated. Some people are not old enough to get all of these 5 different diagnostic imaging studies that we have in the country. But you can be reassured by getting this test done. So for more information, again, this is really hot information, exclusive information. It's educational, it's informative, it's empowering, it's adding value to individuals that, listen to this broadcast. And we really get to choose who we want to tune into, what we want to read and you know, pour into ourselves. So choose wisely. Choose people that really believe in wanting to make a difference in someone's life.
Absolutely. And like you said, that word choose, if God gave you anything, he gave you the purpose of choice. We all have a choice. We even have a choice to believe in him or not. He gives us that choice. So the choices that you make for your life are the most important, because whatever choice you make for yourself, it does and it will be connected to someone else.
Thanks, Beverly.
Mhm.
So you know, I know you've got books out there as well. You're an author, you're an accomplished author, self-publishing too, no doubt. Incredible. Do you want to speak on your books before we close?
Yeah, really, really quick. And it's amazing because I started out with a "You Can Do It" book, because I always like to tell people whenever I'm talking to them, first thing I'm saying, "But you can do it, you can do it." It's like, so I wrote a book for that. And I started with a book with Empowering Women to Succeed with Pat Gillum and some about 18 other powerful women. It was the first book and it became a bestseller. And it's amazing because what? They are my own books. I can't find. Really, really quick. I know. It's so ready for it. And I just self published a book, and it's called, of course, Dare to Be Different, Dare to Be You. People need to learn that you need to be whom you are and stop trying to be a carbon copy of someone else. And the one I'm most proud of, and I sold out of it, is the Dreamsteerer Academe book. And I allowed about 12 of the dreamers that graduated from my academy to tell their story, and it's amazing the stories that came out of that. Even after the academy, I didn't know some of the things that the people were experiencing.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, and the part I would like to tell everybody is, don't feel like you have to be a professional to start your book. Write it. I call myself a pre-editor. If you figure your English is so bad you can't even give it to somebody else to write, pass it through me. I'll make it there and they'll make it go through and make it and get it published, either through myself or through someone else. But get your story out. Sometimes you just need to. Writing things out helps is healing as well. And it may not be to become a number one bestseller. It just may be something that you need to write for you, and
That's
just know that that's coming out, because once you start writing, things come out that you have buried inside of you, and that writing helps you to heal as well.
It's almost like journaling too, Beverly. And so, where can individuals get your books?
They're all on my website too. I chose not to put them on Amazon at this time, but I'm re-looking at that probably for this year. I'm re-looking at a lot of things. Like I said, I keep not putting myself out, and God keeps saying, "What are you doing?" He's like tapping me on my shoulder. You know, this book should be on Amazon. You know, it should be here. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I'll get better at that. I'll get better at promoting Beverly, because that's another thing that I don't do well. I love promoting other people, but he's telling me I need to step the game up. So the
Mhm.
word does get out so that I can help more people, which is the whole purpose. Not about me. It's about so I can reach more people and let them know that I'm there to help them.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
And, you know, Danya says, write for you as a hashtag as well. And you're right. Writing is therapeutic. It's almost like journaling. And, you know, I'm in the process of doing that as well. And you have no idea how refreshing it is, and, you know, nostalgic and reflective. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize how far they've come until they look back from where they've
Oh
come.
my God. That's the amazing part. When you're writing, it's like, what? I went through this, I did that. And that's when you actually really, really understand it. I said, can't see the chat. Is that Danya Say, or who, what Danya is?
It's Danya Davis saying, yes, it is.
Yes, tell her I said hello. I can't see her chat, but she and I have been talking too, because she has a great wellness thing that she does as well. So
Oh,
tell her
well,
thanks for
Danya,
being a
maybe I'll
guest.
have you on Wellness Wednesday. Okay. So I'll connect with
You
you.
should. Yeah,
It's
you should.
information that needs to get out. And that's what I'm going
Mhm.
to use this platform for. So I
Yes,
really appreciate it,
absolutely.
Beverly. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I wish we could do more, right?
Well, you know, when you ask and you shall receive, and you know who you're
Mhm,
speaking to, right? So you know, I'm always looking for content creators for the network, and you're already
mhm,
doing it. I mean, your
mhm.
classes for Dreamster Academy are both online and in person too, Beverly, correct?
Thank you. You keep reminding me of my own self. And I want to thank you because I bring in dynamic speakers like you. And thank you for being in one of my classes, because what also helps them is to see a successful person, but then they'll look at what your background was or what your story was, is like, wow, she went through this and this is how she does. So yes, thank you for being present at one of my classes. And yes, I do offer them on Zoom as well. I decided to do both at one time, and then I just did Zoom on the last one. So each year I recreate it. And like I said, I listen to what the Spirit tells me. And that's what it is. So for the next quarter, it's going to be bigger and better. I think this part that I'm going through, as far as this time off for the cancer and the reconstruction, is going to be my time to sit and do dream steer myself and tell myself, listen to the Spirit. What is my next move? So, I'm not the long-term planner sometimes, because sometimes, God just has me working in segments. It's like, okay, let's just do this first, and then we'll do this next thing down the line.
Well, that's it. So here's the other thing. We pour into others so much. We mustn't forget about ourselves and making ourselves a priority. So that pleases me so much that you are going to take this time to just self-reflect and, just encourage yourself and come out even stronger, because you're worth it and capable of so much more. I know you're just getting started, and I'm really proud of you and proud to be your sister in Christ and your friend as well, Beverly. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. And we are getting together for the first quarter next year. Spirit just says something that you and I have to connect with. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you for this platform. Continue it, continue expanding, keep doing everything that you're doing, because I see the Spirit is just leading you in a lot of directions. But the part is you stay focused on the prize and you take those steps one at a time. So congratulations to you too for doing what you do.
Thanks, Beverly. All right. Well, you've heard it today on Wellness Wednesday. Stay tuned every Wednesday. We'll be back next week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. See you later, everyone.